There are moments, profound and deeply personal, when a connection you share with another soul refuses to fade, stubbornly lingering in the chambers of your heart and the quiet corners of your mind. No matter how many seasons have passed, or how far apart the currents of life have pulled you, you might diligently strive to move forward, to leave the past behind. Yet, an undeniable, magnetic pull gently draws you back, to cherished memories, to emotions that feel as fresh as yesterday, to a sense of closeness that remains deeply etched within your spirit. This isn't merely the common pang of missing someone. It transcends ordinary longing. It speaks to something far deeper, something your spirit profoundly recognizes, even when your rational mind desperately urges you to simply let go and move on. This kind of lingering connection is not just a fleeting sentiment or a trick of memory. It possesses a peculiar resilience that defies logical explanation. It manifests in quiet, unexpected ways, a sudden, vivid dream that brings their presence close, the melody of a song that somehow always conjures their image, a random thought, unbidden and persistent, that places their name on your lips. These occurrences are not accidental. In the divine tapestry of our lives, God often allows certain bonds, certain emotional echoes, to remain active within us for reasons that extend far beyond our immediate comprehension. When such a connection refuses to fade, remaining potent and ever-present, it could very well be His gentle, yet firm, way of revealing to you that what you once felt, what you once shared, was neither ordinary nor temporary. It possessed an authenticity and a depth that holds an enduring significance, and it may still serve a profound purpose, even if its grand design remains veiled to your understanding in the present moment. When something refuses to release its hold on your heart, when it feels like an anchor tethering you to a past experience, it is usually because it still holds a significant place in your unfolding future, or it bears a vital lesson to impart to you in the present. This persistent feeling, this spiritual meaning of persistent feelings, is often a divine signal. It's an invitation to introspection, a call to surrender to a process that God is orchestrating, a process that promises profound transformation. Let us delve into why some connections simply refuse to disappear, and what God might be trying to communicate through them. Firstly, a lingering connection is often a powerful instrument God uses for your profound spiritual and personal growth. You might find yourself questioning why, despite your best efforts, you haven't been able to entirely move past a certain person or experience. That constant, gentle pull, that persistent echo in your soul, is frequently a divine signal that God is actively teaching you through the entire situation. Every emotion you still harbor, every memory that resurfaces, is not a punishment, but a signpost, subtly guiding you toward deeper self-awareness. These feelings are helping you uncover what God desires to shift, to refine, and to strengthen within the very core of your being. The emotions are not meant to torment you. Rather, God employs them as divine conduits, imparting lessons that your mind, in its haste and finite understanding, has not yet fully grasped. Consider the profound wisdom found in Jeremiah 33:3, where God proclaims, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and show you great and mighty things, which you do not know." This verse speaks directly to the heart of our spiritual journey. There are truths, profound and transformative, that God wishes to reveal to us, and often, He chooses the crucible of our personal experiences, particularly our relationships and the lingering feelings associated with them, to impart these invaluable lessons. These are insights we simply cannot glean from books, sermons, or intellectual discourse alone. The enduring strength of this connection, its very persistence, could be a fundamental part of how God is meticulously training you. He might be cultivating greater patience within you, honing your discernment, sharpening your spiritual perception, or deepening your absolute trust in His perfect and sovereign will. Even amidst the fog of confusion, even when the path ahead seems obscured, you possess an immense opportunity for growth. This growth blossoms when you choose to actively call out to Him, to earnestly seek His clarity, to pour out your heart in prayer. When you commit to this spiritual dialogue, when you sincerely ask for understanding, God, in His infinite wisdom and boundless love, will gradually begin to unveil what you might have been missing all along. Do not succumb to the temptation to rush this sacred process simply because it feels uncomfortable or prolonged. The discomfort itself is often a sign that deep work is underway, a spiritual surgery being performed on your heart and soul. The connection you still feel to that person may not be the ultimate destination, nor the final goal of God's grand design. However, what God is actively doing in you, through the crucible of that connection, is undeniably something that will profoundly shape and define your future. Allow Him the space and the time to work through your labyrinthine thoughts, to penetrate the depths of your heart, and to permeate the sincerity of your prayers. There is always more happening in the spiritual realm than our limited human eyes can perceive. If you remain open, receptive, and willing to learn, He will, in His perfect timing, reveal precisely why this particular feeling has endured for so long. The waiting, the often overwhelming rush of emotions, and even the seemingly unanswered questions are all integral components of what God is masterfully using to develop, mature, and refine you into the person He intends for you to become. This is the sacred space where He cultivates maturity in your heart, where He molds and prepares you for something infinitely greater, something divinely orchestrated. The waj's purpose of lingering feelings is often tied to this profound internal work. This connection you sense is not arbitrary, not accidental. It is still being actively utilized for your spiritual growth and divine direction. Therefore, do not, under any circumstances, ignore what God may be persistently trying to show you, to teach you, and to reveal to you right now, through the very persistence of this bond. Secondly, you still feel this other's unfading connection spiritual meaning, because God is meticulously working on both of you, often separately, behind the scenes. The profound truth in James 1:4 tells us to let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. This verse speaks powerfully to the reason why certain bonds remain in our hearts. You still feel the strong, persistent connection because God, in His infinite wisdom and perfect timing, is simply not finished with either of you yet. The period of separation, though often painful and confusing, may not be the absolute end of the relationship as you once envisioned it. Instead, it could be a crucial, transformative part of a larger developmental process that God deems essential for the individual growth and spiritual maturity of both souls involved. He might be patiently, skillfully teaching each of you unique lessons in different places, at different times, cultivating distinct virtues and healing specific wounds within each of your hearts. His ultimate goal is to bring both hearts to a place of wholeness, readiness, and divine alignment. This is precisely why the connection still feels so strong, so palpable. It signifies that, in God's eyes, it has not yet fully run its predestined course. There is still an unfolding narrative, a divine intention that is yet to be fully realized. While you are navigating the often tumultuous emotions of waiting, of wondering, of yearning for clarity, God is simultaneously and intimately reshaping your character, transforming your thought patterns, and refining your very view of love and relationships. It's crucial to understand that God's timeline for preparing individuals is rarely synchronous in the way we might expect. It's not always about both parties being ready at precisely the same moment. One of you might still require profound healing from past traumas, from unaddressed wounds, or from a lifetime of unhealthy patterns. Simultaneously, the other might be in a season of learning to trust God more deeply, to cultivate emotional discipline, or to establish healthier boundaries. If the bond continues to resonate deeply within your heart, it could be a clear indication that God has not yet completed what He began in either of you. The work is still very much in progress. This seemingly quiet period of waiting is far from empty. It is a profoundly rich and fertile ground where patience, maturity, and spiritual wisdom are being meticulously formed within your soul. When you consciously choose to allow patience to have its perfect, transformative work within you, you are, in essence, granting God permission to prepare you properly, thoroughly, and completely. This ensures that when the time is right, you are not rushing into something half-ready, ill-equipped, or lacking the necessary spiritual foundation. That enduring connection, that persistent feeling, may very well remain in your heart until this vital process of growth is complete in both individuals, until both hearts are truly prepared for God's next step, whatever that may be. So, if you consistently feel like something significant is still there, like an invisible thread connecting you, it could be a powerful sign that God is still diligently working on the full, beautiful picture He has envisioned. Do not rush what requires divine time and meticulous attention. Instead, learn to trust that this pause, this period of seeming inaction, is not a punishment for something you did or didn't do. It is, unequivocally, a sacred preparation. You are not forgotten in this season. On the contrary, you are being profoundly refined, shaped, and made ready for what God has perfectly designed for your life and for the lives of those connected to you. This is deeply tied to God's plan for relationships and His divine timing. Thirdly, that enduring feeling, that unwavering presence of avasa, strong bonded, often exists because God is confirming to you that what you experienced was profoundly real. The Bible in Romans 12:9 instructs us to let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor what is evil, cling to what is good. This scripture beautifully illuminates why certain connections refuse to diminish. The reason you still feel this connection so intensely, so authentically, is precisely because what you once experienced, what you shared, was genuine, pure, and true. Sometimes, our human hearts require an extended period to fully process something authentic, something deeply meaningful. And in His infinite wisdom and compassion, God permits the memory, the emotions, and the very essence of that bond to remain within you as a constant, gentle reminder that not every significant connection in your life is meant to be hastily dismissed or easily forgotten. When love is genuine, when it stems from a place of purity and sincerity, your spirit, that intuitive, discerning part of your being, recognizes it at its core. That profound feeling of truth does not simply vanish overnight, nor does it dissipate with the mere passage of time. God may be intentionally allowing you to sit with this profound truth, to truly internalize it, so that you will never question the authenticity of your past experiences or doubt the profound integrity of your own heart. In our human desire to move on quickly, we often attempt to convince ourselves that a past connection wasn't truly real, that our feelings were imagined, or that the experience was simply a mistake. But God, in His profound honesty, does not desire for you to deceive yourself or to invalidate your own heartfelt experiences. You can and should still acknowledge the undeniable reality and profound impact of that connection without ever feeling the need to erase it or pretend it never happened. When love was honest, clean, and rooted in truth, God desires for you to hold on to that fundamental understanding. This remains true even if the relationship did not ultimately last in the way you had hoped or envisioned. This is not about clinging to the person indefinitely, nor is it about living in the past. Rather, it is about learning a deeper spiritual lesson, how to truly honor the experience, to appreciate its intrinsic value, and to remember its authenticity without allowing bitterness, resentment, or cynicism to take root in your heart. If your heart consistently returns to that connection, if it refuses to release its hold, it could be a clear and tender confirmation from God that the love you felt, the bond you shared, was not fake, not a delusion, but a genuine expression of true connection. He wants you to deeply recognize and understand what real, authentic love feels like in its purest form. This profound recognition serves a vital purpose for your future. It will equip you, it will empower you, and it will enable you to recognize genuine love again when He, in His perfect timing, brings it into your life in a different form or through a different person. So, do not push this feeling away simply because the story did not conclude as you wished. Embrace it, truly feel it, and allow yourself to learn the invaluable lessons it holds. Let God skillfully use this past experience to shape, to refine, and to elevate the way you love going forward. What was real and true deserves to be honored and respected, even if its presence in your life was ultimately for a season, not a lifetime. This is part of the true love recognition that God wants to imprint upon your soul. Fourthly, that persistent, strong emotional bond you still feel could be intricately tied to the profound truth that your heart has not yet fully healed from the experience. The comforting words of Psalm 147:3 declare, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This verse speaks directly to the delicate, often protracted process of emotional and spiritual recovery. You may be physically distant from the person or actively attempting to release the emotional hold, but deep within the sanctuary of your soul, there may still be unseen wounds, unaddressed grief, or unresolved pain that has not yet been fully tended to. When the process of healing is still actively underway, when the spiritual balm is still being applied, your emotions naturally remain much closer to the surface. This heightened sensitivity can make the lingering bond feel even more intense, more immediate, and more overwhelming than it might otherwise be. Your heart, in its profound capacity for memory and sensation, vividly remembers what it hasn't yet finished letting go of, what it hasn't fully processed or released. It is crucial to understand that healing is rarely a quick, linear, or straightforward journey. It is a complex, often cyclical process that unfolds in waves. There will be days, perhaps even weeks, when you feel completely fine, robust, and utterly detached from the past. Then, without warning, a memory, a song, a scent, or a random thought can bring the full weight of the emotional connection flooding back, making it feel as though the wound has just been freshly opened. This fluctuation does not, by any means, imply that you are stuck or that you are somehow failing in your healing journey. It simply signifies that your heart is still deeply involved in the process of restoration, still diligently working towards wholeness. God, in His infinite gentleness and tender compassion, approaches healing with exquisite care. He does not rush what requires profound care, patient attention, and deep spiritual restoration. That is often why the connection still feels so heavy, so profound, and so persistent. It is intimately tied to a delicate part of you that still yearns for comfort, still requires tender care, and still awaits complete spiritual restoration. Instead of attempting to block out these feelings, to push them away, or to numb yourself to them, allow God the sacred space to meet you precisely where it still hurts the most. He is not a superficial healer who merely patches over wounds or offers temporary relief. No, He is the divine physician who carefully, meticulously, and tenderly binds up your wounds, layer by intricate layer. He works with a patience that transcends human understanding, until your heart is not only mended but also strengthened, made resilient enough to move forward in profound peace and unwavering confidence. The intensity of the lingering connection will naturally begin to weaken, to soften, and to recede as true, deep healing continues to unfold within you, but for now, its very presence is an integral, necessary part of your ongoing recovery. So, if you still feel inexplicably connected, if that bond stubbornly persists, recognize it as a signal, a gentle reminder that profound healing is still taking place within you. Do not shame yourself for still feeling something, for carrying a weight that you wish to release. God sees the deepest chambers of your heart. He understands the complexities of your journey, and He is absolutely committed to making your heart whole again, fully restored, and deeply at peace, no matter how long the process may ultimately take. This is a journey of vast emotional healing faith, a testament to God's enduring love. Finally, that powerful, unwavering connection you still feel is often a profound reminder from God, urging you to wait. The timeless wisdom of Psalm 27:14 beautifully counsels us. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and He shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. This verse is not merely a suggestion, but a profound spiritual discipline, a core tenet of trust in God's perfect timing and sovereign plan. You continue to feel the connection so strongly, so undeniably, because God may be gently, yet firmly, asking you not to walk away from it, not to dismiss it, not to abandon its potential just yet. It is vital to distinguish between passive waiting and an active, faith-filled expectation. This is not about remaining idle, doing nothing, or simply putting your life on hold indefinitely. On the contrary, it is about consciously choosing to remain in a place of unwavering faith, steadfast trust, and hopeful anticipation while God continues His intricate work, His divine orchestration. When something significant is still being formed, when a divine purpose is still unfolding, God, in His protective and guiding nature, will often keep it prominently on your heart. He allows that feeling to linger precisely so that you do not rush ahead too quickly, so that you do not make premature decisions, or force an outcome that is not yet fully aligned with His perfect will. That severs lingering connection, that persistent emotional echo, could very well be His consistent, gentle reminder that the story is not yet over, that the chapter is not fully closed. Waiting on God, in its truest spiritual sense, does not imply that you are wasting time, that you are stagnating, or that you are missing out on other opportunities. Rather, it means that you are consciously choosing to allow Him, the sovereign Creator, to shape the ultimate outcome, to determine the perfect timing, rather than attempting to force your own desired result. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages to move on, to forget, to find closure at all costs, God in His counter-cultural wisdom may be tenderly telling you to stay still, to be patient, to remain present, because the right moment, the divinely appointed time, has simply not yet arrived. And in this very act of waiting, God promises to strengthen your heart. He imbues you with courage, with resilience, and with a profound sense of peace that transcends understanding. Even as you hold on, even as you endure the discomfort of the unknown, the connection may feel so strong, so deeply rooted, because you are still fundamentally tied to a divine promise, to a preordained destiny, and not merely to the person themselves. Your spirit, that discerning part of your being that communes directly with the divine, senses that there is still something more ahead, a greater purpose yet to be revealed. Even if you do not possess the full picture, even if the pieces do not yet fit neatly into place, it does not mean you are imagining things, or that your feelings are irrational. On the contrary, it signifies that your spirit, attuned to the whispers of the Holy Spirit, intimately knows what God has yet to fully reveal and bring to fruition. So, continue to wait in unwavering faith, not in gnawing frustration or crippling anxiety. Trust implicitly that if this profound connection is still present, still resonating within your soul, God is actively using it. He is using it to shape something beautiful and transformative within you, and quite possibly, something equally significant within the other person. Be deeply encouraged by this truth. Waiting in God's perfect timing does not signify denial, nor does it imply stagnation. It is a powerful affirmation that if God's plan is still actively, meticulously, and perfectly unfolding, moving toward its glorious culmination, it is a testament to the boundless love and perfect wisdom of our Creator, who uses even the most persistent feelings to guide us into His divine purpose.